Hello, I'm Evan of Evan and Amy's Roleplay Help. Today we're going to be doing a video review of Stitchinrp-RPG. So here we go. This is the front page for Stitchinrp-RPG. The first thing I'm noticing is the sidebar, which is repeating for me at the bottom. However, I have a screwy resolution, so this may not be the case for everyone. Just be sure to take into account all resolution types when creating a group page. Looking at the front page, I'm trying to get a feel for what the roleplay is about, but to be honest, it's very unclear to me. From the first look, I would say it's about supernatural or American Horror Story, mostly because of its talk of hell and Kyle, aka Evan Peters' face. My suggestion would be to add a small synopsis into your sidebar description right here, just to give the viewers an idea of what the group is about. The theme itself works from an aesthetic point of view, but it looks plain at first notice. It appears to be a non-customized theme you would find from a theme hunter page, so my suggestion would be to take colors from your sidebar and incorporate them into elements of the page itself, such as the text, the background, or even these links on the side. We're going to now move on to the navigation page. While the setup of the page is excellent itself, the links should be colored differently than the rest of the text. While some groups prefer to use alt code symbols, such as stars, others will insert the link into the description itself, so be sure to make sure that the links are attractive to the eye so that they're quickly found by the viewer. Some of the descriptions in the navigation are confusing. Be sure to clarify what it is they're looking at. While it's a good idea to add snippets to allure the player, the goal of the navigation page is to get them to the right pages. Saying things such as, "hell is alluring," doesn't click to application in the player's mind, though the sentence itself is intriguing. Try to make a connection in the player's mind as to why that would lead them to the application page. We're now moving on to the rules page. The rules are set up fair and clear so that the players will know what to expect from you as the admin. However, some of the wording of the rules can come across as critical. For example, "don't apply if you won't be on ever" falls under the activity rule, but it also makes players shy away because it's worded so harshly. As for the last rule, it seems to be what I call bulk writing. The point of the rules is to just let the player know what's expected, so restating that they should know the rules after just reading them is a bit redundant. Now onto the plot. The plot, while fairly original and thought out, is a bit disconnected. As a reader, I understand what the plot is, but only after reading it multiple times and drawing snippets from the quotation paragraph to the rest of the writing. Another concern with this page is the first quotation paragraph. Cursing in your plot page, whether in quotations as a character or not, lowers the professionalism you're attempting to convey when explaining your story. It makes the reading more casual, which in turn causes others to struggle to follow along when you amp the professionalism back up. My suggestion would be to eliminate the first paragraph altogether and redistribute the important information into the rest of the paragraphs, so the writing flows more easily and the information is distributed in a cohesive, even manner. My last concern is the bullet points at the bottom. My suggestion would be to put these into a paragraph form like you have the rest of the information, because in the reader's mind it looks more like a checklist than part of the vital writing. I would also abstain from bulk writing using lines such as, "the writers aren't as fluffy as they thought," or "they're screwed," simply because it doesn't pertain a whole lot to the plot in general and just gives the reader more to sort through. Also, the bullet about staying in character while also thinking out of character is a bit confusing in the mind. They're out of character people being put in an in-character world, but they're out of character, yet they have to think and act in character. If you think of it that way, the sentence alone clutters up the mind and forces the reader to stop and think about it rather than focus on the story. That being said, the plot itself is good, and I don't particularly see anything about the idea itself that needs to be changed. My only other suggestion is to double read and spell check your pages, since I'm beginning to notice a few typos here and there, both on this page and other pages such as the rules. When it comes to the application page, it's set up properly and easy to read through, so the aesthetic aspect doesn't need any changing. I would suggest changing "are you going to stay" to "how active are you?" Asking if they're going to stay displays a lack of trust that they'll stay within your group, which in turn will turn them off because they're not being trusted to support you. I also suggest not having a secondary character option. The reason for this is because someone's second choice may also be someone else's first choice, and if you give both of their character choices away, you'll have a very unhappy applicant on your hands. Secondary characters imply you'll give them the character if they don't get their first choice, which isn't always the case. For the sample writing, you may want to put whether you want first or third person and past or present tense writing, simply because players eventually ask about it and it's just easier to have it there for their convenience. On to the graphics. The only graphic there seems to be is the sidebar graphic, and the sidebar graphic is slightly misleading in terms of what the group is actually about. I would suggest a more zombie apocalypse derived image, or something involving a coma, to lead and tease the players into what the group is actually about. I'd also suggest putting a teaser image on the plot page, just to get players even more excited about what they'll be playing. Overall, the idea of the group itself is appealing. However, my biggest concern right now is cohesiveness. The blog itself needs to flow together better and be better connected so the player immediately knows what to expect and whether or not they're interested. Once the information and visuals click together, people will be on board much more quickly. This group has a lot of potential, and I would suggest in the future perhaps expanding beyond 10 characters if this blog becomes popular. Thank you for watching our video review for Stitchinrp-RPG. Be sure to check them out on Tumblr and to support their group. If you would like a review or just need help regarding the Tumblr roleplay community, visit us at evan-and-amy.tumblr.com. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and follow us on Tumblr. Thanks!